Hello and welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm John Bachman. Joining us now is the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and current GOP candidate for the United States Senate in Michigan, Pete Hoekstra. He also serves on the advisory board for Lignet.com. Great to talk to you again, Pete.
Hey, it's good to be with you. Thank you.
All right, we want to get a status check from you. You just returned from a trip to Israel. How is a majority of the Israeli population looking at this presidential election with the pending impact it could have on U.S.-Israeli relations and national security?
Well, I think one of the things that I noticed in Israel, and I've been there a number of times, is the apprehension that you feel when you go into Israel. They feel alone, they feel isolated, and they feel threatened. They're very concerned about what's going on in the Middle East, and they believe that, their relationship with the United States right now is probably as weak as it has been in a long time. So they're saying two things. Their relationship with the United States isn't as strong as what they want it to be, and they see a greater level of threats than what they've seen in a long time.
As you mentioned, tensions, of course, are still high between the United States, Iran, and Israel. And there has been some speculation as of late that Iran could sit down at the negotiating table again and perhaps take its nuclear program down a notch in exchange for easing of these economic sanctions that have been imposed on Iran and that are doing great damage to the Iranian economy. Do you see this happening before the election? And if so, do you think it's a calculated political move by the Obama administration?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that I think the Iranian government would very much prefer to keep President Obama in office. Remember, it was President Obama in 2009 that when the people were rioting in the streets in Iran demanding a governmental change and overthrow of the government, that it was the Obama administration that was slow to react and to be supportive of the people on the streets. And, this president has really given them 4 more years to move their nuclear program forward. What I'm reminded of as you hear this talk about, Iran's now going to begin negotiating and those types of things, when is America going to learn? We did this how many times with North Korea? They said, hey, we're ready to begin negotiating. We send them food, we send them fuel, and then at the last minute they would pull the football away. They wouldn't allow access to their nuclear sites, to their missile sites, and all of these kinds of things. I would expect the same type of behavior from Iran. We don't let up on the sanctions. We don't back off until there's an actual specific change in Iranian behavior. We give them nothing for coming to the table because their behavior in the past is very much like North Korea. We'll promise them something, but we'll never deliver.
And in terms of specifics, what would you be looking for? What should they offer to get those sanctions eased? What specifically are you talking about?
Well, I think, if they want some lifting of the sanctions, what they need to do, and, I've been involved in this stuff for a long time, again, watching North Korea, watching Iran, and watching other bad players. If you're going to give them something, get something in return at the front end. And what do we want? We want access to their nuclear sites. We want to be able to go and monitor, see the gauge and gauge the progress that they've made, and see their facilities, and have them stop their enrichment program, have them perhaps turn over the nuclear materials that they've already developed, have them, turn them over to the United States or some other third party so that we've got clear evidence that we have stopped their nuclear program. The number one priority in the Middle East, Israel's concerned about this, but so is the rest of the neighborhood. The number one priority here is to stop their enrichment program, to stop their weapons program, and to make sure that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. So those are the kinds of things and the kind of steps they should take right now before we do anything else.
All right, let's also talk about North Africa, Libya, and Benghazi. And you're standing in front of a map there. There are some new reports that the State Department is looking into what role still that movie may have played in the attack that killed a U.S. ambassador and 3 other Americans. Is it at all possible that it's still too early to tell whether the attack was solely a planned terrorist attack or perhaps a retaliation for the movie, or some combination of the two?
I think it's all a meaningless question at this point. When you take a look at the map, you take a look at what's going on in Egypt, you take a look at Libya, you take a look at what's going on in Yemen, you also take a look at what's going on the Sinai Peninsula. We need to go back to the fundamental reason as to why these folks were attacking us in Africa in the 1990s, why they attacked us in Saudi Arabia in the 1990s, why they took out or tried to take out the USS Cole. It's the same thing. They despise the American way of life. They want to destroy the West. They want to, impose Sharia law. It has nothing to do about a video. It has, these are just convenient excuses for them to go out and attack. We need to recognize the root cause that these folks have posed a real threat to us since the 1990s. We're now going on 20 years of this. Again, I've studied this for the last 11 or 12 years. The video is a convenient excuse maybe to draw a few more people in, but the bottom line is what happened in Benghazi. It was a premeditated, planned attack to coincide with the anniversary of 9/11. They saw a weak America that did not have the security in place necessary to protect its resources, to protect the people that were working at that consulate, and the ambassador was a target of opportunity. It was premeditated. It was a planned terrorist attack, and that's all we really need to know as we move forward and respond to it.
All right, let's also quickly shift to your home state. The Obama administration and efforts to jumpstart the green job and the green economy there were dealt another blow at the announcement of battery maker A123 and its plans to declare bankruptcy. What is the impact of this announcement on your race for the U.S. Senate in Michigan?
Well, the impact it has is just like the map behind me. What happened in the map behind me is not an Arab Spring; it's an Arab upheaval. The president can't defend that record. And now what he's also seeing is his economic record here in Michigan and across the country is disintegrating. Whether it's A123 or whether it's the LG Chem battery plant in my hometown of Holland, combined, they've received investments of close to $400 million out of the stimulus plan. They haven't been building batteries. One of the companies is now in bankruptcy. The one in my hometown has never built a battery. Their employees are now on rolling furloughs. What it says is the president's foreign policy, his economic policy is in shambles, as are the policies of the person I'm running against, Debbie Stabenow. And it's one of the reasons, this is unbelievable. It's one of the reasons that she is afraid to debate. They don't have a good record, and so what she's trying to do, the immediate impact is say, no, Pete, I'm not going to debate you because she recognizes that their agenda and their record is so weak and they have no vision for moving forward. I feel sorry for the people at A123. These are people who are working hard. They're trying to do the right thing. But you know what? The federal government and Debbie Stabenow should not be trying to pick winners and losers in a market economy, wasting taxpayers' money.
All right, former House Intelligence Committee Chairman Pete Hoekstra, it's been great talking to you once again.
Great, thank you.